Let's talk about the interview. It's so much more than just a conversation, isn't it? It's really a critical tool for any leader, whether you're hiring someone new, giving some tough feedback, or handling a tricky situation. But how often do we actually give it the strategic prep it really deserves? Well, today we're diving into a playbook designed to make every single one of those conversations count.
So, just for a second, think back to the last important interview you conducted. Did you walk out feeling totally confident, like you nailed your objective? Or was there that little nagging feeling in the back of your mind that, it could have been better prepared? That's the exact gap we're going to close today.
Okay, so the first big mindset shift is right here. Interviewing isn't just talking, it's a formal management skill, and it's not just for hiring new talent. We're talking promotions, performance reviews, and yeah, even those really difficult disciplinary conversations. The key is to start seeing it as a structured process, not just some casual chat. All right, so where do you even begin? Well, like any good strategy, it all starts with the foundation. And that means understanding the fundamental purpose of the conversation before you even think about putting it on the calendar. This foundation is built on three really key actions. First up, you have to define your objective with absolute crystal clarity. What is the one thing you must accomplish? Second, and this is the one people always forget, try to understand their objective. When you show you've actually considered their perspective, you build trust, and that opens the door for a way more productive dialogue. And third, do your homework. Walking in unprepared is just not an option. And what that homework looks like? Well, it totally depends on the situation. For a hiring interview, it's pretty obvious. Their application, their resume. But for a performance counseling session, it's their personnel file, their work record, maybe some previous warnings. The context is what tells you what data you need to have on hand. Okay, so once your purpose is clear, you've got to set the stage. The physical environment of an interview isn't just some minor detail. It can literally dictate the entire tone and, frankly, the outcome of the whole conversation. This means you've got to choose a private, appropriate space. It means making sure all the right people are scheduled and actually available. And most importantly, and this is the big one, it means deliberately getting rid of any and all interruptions. Let's just hang on this for a second because it's that important. A ringing phone, a knock on the door, a colleague just popping their head in, it completely shatters the focus. And honestly, it signals disrespect. Putting a sign on the door or forwarding your calls isn't being fussy. It's absolutely essential for a focused, professional exchange. Okay, so your environment is locked down. Now we move to the actual content of the conversation itself. This is all about preparing your script. Now, not something you're going to read from, but more like a roadmap to guide you through it. And again, it breaks down into three pretty distinct actions. First, gather every single piece of data you might possibly need. Second, list out the specific key points you absolutely must cover. And third, and this is what really separates the amateurs from the pros, anticipate their questions and their objections so you're ready to respond thoughtfully, not defensively. So here's the bottom line. You should walk into that room with a folder, whether it's digital or physical, doesn't matter, that has everything you need. This isn't about looking rigid. It's about projecting confidence and control. It shows you've done the work and that you respect their time. You know, the biggest mistake people make? Thinking the interview is over when the person walks out of the room. Nope. This final phase, the follow-through, is arguably the most important part. This is where you actually secure the outcome and make the whole conversation matter. So the second they leave, you need to ask yourself these questions. Does this conversation need to be documented? What are the concrete follow-up action steps and who owns them? And if this is part of an ongoing series of talks, what ideas or notes should you capture for the next one? And that is the whole goal here, turning all that talk into real concrete action. A follow-up memo, a formal action plan, whatever it takes, this step is what ensures the interview actually leads to a tangible result. And here it is, the whole shebang, the complete pre-interview checklist from our source. We've just walked through all the key pieces of this really powerful framework. Just look at how it covers everything, from defining your objective at the very beginning, all the way through to the follow-up. This is your blueprint for a successful interview. So why does all this matter? I mean, why go to all this trouble? Because following this checklist leads to some seriously tangible benefits. You're going to make better hiring decisions, you'll get much clearer outcomes from performance discussions, and you will waste far less time for everyone involved because every single conversation is purposeful and prepared.
So that next interview on your calendar, it's not just another meeting. It's a critical leadership moment, and it has real consequences. So the only question left is, are you truly prepared to lead it?